why have you never stood next to nobody? Because you studied the 48 laws of power.
Nah, man, that's whack. And he knew exactly what I meant because he'd been standing next to something his entire career.
Right.
He stood next to Biggie. You put hot on him. That's stand next to the fighters he want, right? You stood next to Mace. Stood next to Jock. Look, Puffy might be the destination for anybody going nowhere.
If you thought you'd seen it all, think again. Because I've got some juicy gossip that'll make your jaw drop. You might have heard that P. Diddy, the music mogul, is a big deal in the industry. But do you know that he's also connected to the murder of one of the greatest rappers of all time? That's right, the Notorious B.I.G. was allegedly taken out by none other than Diddy himself. It's a shocking revelation, but not everyone is afraid to speak the truth. One brave soul, none other than the legendary 50 Cent, has released a song exposing Diddy's connection to Biggie's death. It's about time someone stood up to the notorious bad boy of the music industry.
Look, Puffy might be the destination for anybody going. Nobody survived him.
You all are fucked.
Look at it.
Yeah.
But that's not all. Diddy isn't just known for his musical talents and business savvy. Oh no, he's also got a reputation for being a dangerous man who will do anything for money. And I mean anything, even if it means taking someone's life. Scary stuff, right?
He knew exactly what I meant because he'd been standing next to something his entire career.
Right.
He stood next to Biggie. You put hot on him. That's stand next to the fighters he want, right? You stood next to Mace. Stood next to Jock. Look, Puffy might be the destination for anybody going nowhere.
When it comes to telling it like it is, 50 Cent is not one to shy away from the truth. He's the only rapper bold enough to call out Diddy's shady dealings, and he makes no bones about it in his diss track. He doesn't say outright that Diddy killed Biggie, but he's not shy about pointing out that Diddy profited greatly from his death. 50 Cent isn't one to turn his back on the truth. He is the only rapper willing to talk about Diddy's wrongdoings. In fact, he even wrote it in his diss track, clearly stating that Diddy knew exactly who killed Biggie. Maybe he doesn't want to outright claim that Diddy killed Biggie, but just like everyone else, 50 Cent knows how much profit Diddy made out of Biggie's death.
Jay-Z and Puffy wanted Biggie killed. Bottom line.
Now, Diddy's former bodyguard Uncle Ron has stepped up to the plate with some damning accusations of his own. According to him, the man behind Biggie's murder was none other than Diddy himself.
Leave the facts. Here's a man that wanted to leave Bad Boy. He wanted to do his own thing. He mentioned several times how he was tired of being used and abused.
Uncle Ron isn't just making baseless accusations either. He knows what he's talking about. He was approached by Diddy to do the deed, but refused. Sadly, someone else was willing to take up the offer, and Biggie paid the ultimate price.
Take Biggie out.
I was offered $30,000 to perform a hit on Biggie Smalls. March 1st of 1997, I was approached by Diddy to perform a hit on one of his artists.
Diddy's reputation in the music industry is not exactly spotless. Many of his artists left the industry and never looked back. One such artist was Mace. Back in the day, it looked like Mace was destined for greatness, but he suddenly retired and became a pastor. It seems he wanted to leave the life he created under Diddy's label behind. However, Diddy is still after Mace for money, claiming he owes him millions. But Mace has a different story to tell. He says that Diddy conned and ripped off everyone at Bad Boy Records, and he's not about to be taken advantage of anymore. And everybody else you made sign paperwork so they can't talk about what I'm talking about. I'm the only one with the guts. I'm not signing, nigga, cause I don't need the money. All money ain't good money, remember that. At one point, Mace even accused Diddy of starving his artists, and then later acting all high and mighty in front of the public. He wrote, "If you want to see change, you can make a change today by starting with yourself. Your past business practices knowingly starved your artist." The hip-hop world was rocked by the arrival of the Notorious B.I.G., a true game changer who revolutionized the music scene in just a few short years. His trusty friend and ally, Diddy, was always by his side, and they were known as the ultimate dynamic duo. Biggie had faith in Diddy and joined Bad Boy Records as soon as it was launched, believing that Diddy would give him the best opportunities and make the best decisions for his career. At the time, it seemed like nothing could come between them. But in retrospect, it's clear that Diddy never gave Biggie the share he deserved. He stole from him and took away the fame and fortune that should have been rightfully his. Despite this, Biggie had complete trust in Diddy and followed him blindly. However, Biggie's mother spoke out against his contract with Bad Boy Records and their so-called partnership, making it crystal clear that she didn't approve. She said, "The truth is, Christopher accepted the illusion of a friend and mentor for about $25,000. That's the amount Puffy lured my son with. That was a lot of money for Christopher back then as a 19-year-old. He had never seen that much at one time in his life. It was enough money to make my son believe that Puffy was ready to do anything for him. It was enough to buy a blind love and loyalty. Biggie was more than just a cash cow for Diddy. He was a friend and a brother, or so he thought. It wasn't until later that Biggie realized he had been naive to trust Diddy with his earnings. Diddy had been robbing him blind for years. Finally, Biggie saw the light. He knew Bad Boy Records would be the death of him if he didn't leave. However, what he didn't expect was that even trying to leave the label would be a death sentence. Biggie had made the brave decision to join a new label that would truly value him as an artist. As he confided in his former bodyguard Gene Deal, he was done with Diddy and Bad Boy. It was time to move on. When Gene stumbled upon Diddy's briefcase that outlined Biggie's earnings, Biggie told him that it was time to part ways with Diddy and his label. The end of an era was nigh, he showed me. It had Charlie Baltimore, Cameron, Lil Cease, Lil Kim, Junior Mafia, Tracy Lee, and the Commission. I think the contract was for so many years for like $62 million. It comes out to $62 million. After years of being undervalued, Biggie realized that Bad Boy Records would be the end of him as an artist. But what he couldn't have anticipated was that even trying to leave the label would be suicide. Biggie decided to part ways with Diddy and his label and join another that would genuinely appreciate him as the exceptional artist he was. According to Biggie's former bodyguard Gene Deal, Biggie himself informed him of the new agreement. Gene had to keep an eye on Diddy's briefcase during a flight. It outlined Biggie's earnings in $250,000 increments but left publishing revenue in Puff's possession. When he inquired about it, Biggie revealed to him that it was time he parted ways with Diddy and his label. Diddy must have noticed Biggie's plans to break away from him. As a result, he decided to make one final sacrifice. Diddy gave up his former friend and the first person who trusted him with his label. By killing Biggie, Diddy was able to keep all the music catalogs. When Biggie was struggling financially at the start and needed cash, Diddy purchased Biggie's publishing rights. By assassinating him before he could leave the label, Diddy ensured that any money generated from Biggie's music went directly into his pocket. Diddy's daughter even tweeted saying, "Puff does nothing for my family." People closer to Biggie have always speculated that Diddy had more to do with Biggie's untimely death than he admitted. Even if he didn't issue the order, he was the person who benefited the most from it. Lil Kim and Biggie used to be close friends before his death. He and Kim had an affair while he was married to Faith Evans, and Kim was even pregnant with his child at one point. Kim appears to believe that Diddy played a significant role in her lover's murder. Some people believe that Diddy and his actions are linked to the Illuminati. After all, no one person could effortlessly dispose of an artist as significant as Biggie Smalls. But if Diddy is indeed connected to the Illuminati and murdered Biggie, people like Lil Kim have even more reason to be cautious. Even Kanye West claimed that Diddy did unimaginable things under the influence of the Illuminati and hinted that Diddy killed someone. Could he be referring to Biggie's death as the murder that Diddy committed? People think Biggie isn't the only one who fell victim to Diddy's greed. Tupac before him suffered a similar fate. One person took to Twitter to share these thoughts. Rumors are that Biggie made moves to leave Bad Boy for a deal worth more than $60 million, and that Diddy planned Biggie's death in retaliation. It's also rumored Diddy played a role in Tupac's death, paying $1 million to hire a Crips gang member to orchestrate the killing. A second fan talked about how Bad Boy Records flourished after Biggie's death. It's as if Biggie's death was the one thing Diddy needed to truly satiate his greed. Biggie's death carried Bad Boy and beyond technically. Though Bad Boy was on fire at daytime, once Biggie died, that fire grew tremendously. Biggie album went diamond. No Way Out 7 mil and da rest is history. Without Biggie's death, the label would have crumbled. Some people believe that Biggie was cognizant of his impending fate. They argue that Diddy's avarice was apparent to all, and Biggie understood that trying to evade him would lead to his demise. And a fan tweeted, "Biggie made Diddy more richer dead than he ever did alive. No artist on Bad Boy brought in more money than Biggie Smalls. Diddy legacy is Bad Boy. You nobody till somebody kills you." Biggie knew Diddy triggered his death. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.